Hey everyone, today we're going to look at how to set up Nginx Proxy Manager on a Synology NAS. So before we get started, I kind of want to explain what a proxy manager is, and I've done this in videos before. I've used this slide actually a lot at this point, but I think it's helpful to quickly explain what it does so that everyone's aware before they actually go and implement this. So Nginx Proxy Manager allows you to expose different web services outside of your network by exposing only one server. In this case, it's the proxy server. So if you think about this, if you have a website and you also want to expose Plex, for example, what you traditionally have to do is you have to open ports 80 and 443 for your website, and then for Plex, you'd have to open port 32400. So when you connect back in from the outside, you'd most likely be accessing your website through port 443, but for Plex, you'd have to access it using port 32400. Now in a reverse proxy, all you're doing is exposing that one reverse proxy server. So basically you open ports 80 and 443 to that reverse proxy server, and then you use a different domain name to get back to all of your different web servers. So if you had a website and you had Plex, you would be able to access your website using your regular domain name, and then you can access Plex either using a subdomain or its own domain name, and you're doing all of that through the reverse proxy server. So you only have ports 80 and 443 open to that reverse proxy server, and you can expose as many web services as you'd like. So I don't want to get too deep into this because the slide I'm hoping explains this better than I ever could because it's visualized. But if you guys have any questions about it, please leave them in the comments and then I'll get back to you. So before we get started on the installation, I just want to let you know that I have full written instructions for everything that we're doing today in the description. So we're going to be installing Nginx Proxy Manager in Docker. So the first thing that you have to do is you have to install Docker from Synology's Package Center. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go in and we're going to create two different folders inside of the Docker folder that's automatically created. One for Mariadb and one for Nginx Proxy Manager. Now the important thing to note here is that generally when you're creating a Docker container on Synology NASs or just in general, you're really only using one container to get that specific service to work. Now in this case, Nginx Proxy Manager has a database as well. So we actually have to create two different containers. We have to create one for the database and one for the Nginx Proxy Manager itself. Now from my research, it appears like you can actually do all of this using a Docker Compose file, but my preference is always to do as much as I can through Synology's GUI and kind of stay out of the terminal if I don't have to be in it. And we do have to use it in a little bit. You'll see that we're going to create a Mac VLAN network interface. But we're not going through and creating this entire container through the terminal. So to get back on track, in that Nginx proxy folder, we're going to create two subfolders. We're going to create a data subfolder and then a let's encrypt subfolder. The last thing that we need to do is we need to create a config.json file. And in the written instructions, I have exactly what you have to put in that file. The only thing that you have to replace is you have to ensure that you put the IP address of your Synology NAS. As soon as you do that, upload that file, and then we can move on to the next steps. So like I said a little earlier, we have to go into Synology's terminal to create a Docker Mac VLAN network interface. So what we have to do is we have to SSH into our Synology NAS. If you're not sure how to do that, I have a video that I'll leave a pop-up for now that will show you how to do that. And then when we get into that, we have to run a command to actually find the network interfaces that we have available. And then after that, we're going to run a network create command where you have to substitute in the correct host network interface. So in my case, it's ETH0, but it might be something different for you. So when you're finished running this command, it's going to create the Mac VLAN network interface that we're going to use. The reason why we're doing this is because by default, Synology has a port conflict with ports 80 and 443. It uses those ports for its own services. If you use Synology's host network interface, you're going to have to run a few different scripts that kind of open those ports and stop Synology listening on those ports for other services. I don't really see the point in doing that personally. Since we're using a Mac VLAN network interface, we're actually avoiding any of those port conflicts. So to me, this is the easier and better way of doing it. After that's done, we're going to go back to our NAS. We're going to open up Docker, and then we're going to go to the network section and we're going to create a new network, and it's going to be our NPM bridge network. Now what this is the network interface that allows our Synology NAS and our Docker container to talk to each other. This is going to be used on our Nginx Proxy Manager container a little later on. As soon as that's done, we're going to move on to creating our Mariadb database container. So you can navigate to the registry and then search for Mariadb and download the latest version of Mariadb. Once that's done downloading, you can double-click the image to launch the configuration. Give the container a name, go into the advanced settings and enable auto restart, and then you can select volume. Now what we're going to do here is we're going to map the folder that we created earlier, that Mariadb folder, to the mount path var/lib/mysql. Once that's done, go into the port settings and you're going to change our local port from auto to 3306. If you're using this port for anything else, you'll have to change it to be something different, but you'll also have to update that config.json file we created earlier with the new port that you created. So you'll see in that file that we have port 3306. Just update it with whatever you chose there. After that, head into the environment section and we're going to create 4 variables. This is going to be the passwords and the database names and everything. I'm just leaving this as Nginx Proxy Manager, but if you change anything here, you will also have to go back to that config.json file we created earlier and update the information there. So basically, you'll see in later steps that we're just using that config file so that our Nginx Proxy Manager container knows where to find the database. If you change either the ports or the password, username, anything like that, you have to ensure that you update that config file so the Nginx Proxy Manager knows where to find that database. As soon as that's done, you can hit apply and that container will be created. Now, if you're using Synology's Firewall, and I suggest that you do, if you don't have it set up, I'll leave a pop-up now on how you can set up the Synology Firewall. But what you'll have to do is you'll have to go into the firewall and you'll have to create an allow rule for port 3306 or the port that you used and specified in the Mariadb container. This just ensures that our NAS allows traffic on that one port. Now we're going to move on to creating the Nginx Proxy Manager container. So open Docker back up, you're going to go to the registry and you're going to search for Nginx Proxy Manager. Download the latest version of the JC21 Nginx Proxy Manager image file. Once that's done downloading, double-click the image and then give the container a name and select Advanced Settings. You can then enable auto restart and then head over to the volume section. So we're going to mount 3 total paths here. The first 2 are going to be the data folder and the Let's Encrypt folder that we created earlier. And we're going to use the mount path /data and /etc Let's Encrypt. And then the last file is going to be a file. Make sure you don't pick folder. Make sure you click Add File. And then you're going to add the config.json file and you're going to mount it to the app/config/production.json file. Like I said earlier, this is just telling Nginx Proxy Manager where to find the database. Head over to the network section and then you're going to add the 2 NPM networks we created, the network and the bridge, and then you're going to remove the bridge. Once that's done, go over to the port settings and you're going to change the local ports from auto to basically ports that aren't being used. So I'm using 4443, 8080, and 8081. Now, if any of those ports you're using for something else, you'll have to change those to be something different. You don't have to worry about it. You don't have to update this anywhere. It just needs to be something that's not in use. Once that's done, you can apply all of these settings and then your Nginx Proxy Manager container is going to be set up. So give it a few minutes. It's going to probably take between 2 and 5 minutes to fully set up and initialize. But then you'll be able to navigate to the MAC VLAN network IP address that we created earlier. That's that NPM network. In my case, it's 192.168.1.198 and then port 81. As soon as you do that, you should be brought to the Nginx Proxy Manager webpage. You'll then be able to log in with the email address of admin@example.com and the password change.me. Now, when you get in the first time, it's going to ask you to change that email address. It's going to ask you for your name, and then it's also going to ask you to change your password. So make sure that you go in and you do all of that. So at this point, Nginx Proxy Manager is fully set up. So what you have to do is you have to start adding your web services. So I just created a video on how you can use Nginx Proxy Manager to expose Plex to the outside internet, and it will automatically set up an SSL certificate for it and pretty much do everything that you need. So I'm not going to bore you guys with that in this video. If you're interested in seeing how to set it up, I will leave a pop-up for that now. But I went through, I tested everything out. I was able to add a SSL certificate successfully, and overall, it just works really well. So That's kind of the tutorial for today. It was fairly long, but I'm hoping that everything made sense. If you guys have any questions, please leave them in the comments. I'll do my best to get back to you and help you troubleshoot any issues that might arise. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up. And if you like this type of content, please consider subscribing to the channel. Thanks, guys.